Yes, Sergeant, I haven't forgotten. Come in.
Yes.
There's plenty of time before I have to go to the station. I wanted to see you again, Sergeant, because I think I might be able to help.
Thank you, sir.
Now, look, Sergeant. We've been through this war together. Now it's all over, and we're going back to our own country. So let's forget this little matter of rank, shall we?
Thank you, sir.
Now, sit down.
Yes, sir. I wouldn't have bothered you again, sir, only...
You feel desperate. Yes. I know. So did I once.
Sir?
You may not think it, but when I was your age, I made exactly the same mistake as you are making. Through lack of courage.
Courage? Oh, come, sir.
Moral courage. Yes, Sergeant. I was just the same sort of fool as you have been. Not from folly, but out of kindness. Out of pity. Wrong sort of pity. Listen, Sergeant. I know you took pity on that girl who was badly hurt in the Blitz, huh? You meant only to be kind. But as time went on, she began to rely on you. She became fond of you. And as you don't feel the same about her, you want to get out of it without hurting her desperately. Is that it?
Yes, sir. I don't see how anything can come of it if it is only...
Pity?
I'm afraid so, sir.
You know, Sergeant, there are two kinds of pity, you know. There's the one where you try to say the right things to a sick person. You cheerfully make promises of relief, of recovery. Oh, yes, one can indulge oneself in a perfect orgy of that kind of pity. Have a grand time. Thinking what a fine fellow you are, dispensing this divine gift of creating happiness. Yes, I know. We all do that. But the gods can fulfill their promises, young man. We can't.
Yes, sir. I know that now.
But what you don't know, what you can't know, is that out of that shallow kind of pity, they can grow another one. It's finer. It's a much deeper emotion. It's... well, I'm not clever enough to explain it, but I know it. You see, it happened to me. Oh, yes, I was so much like you in those years. I was just a young lieutenant in the regular army. The regiment, it was the old Windish Greats Dragoon in those days, was on the move to a new garrison town, about halfway between Prague and Vienna. Kekesfalva was its name. Oh, yes, I had good cause to remember it. It was one of those long, wearisome rides. But we were nearly in when, coming round a deep gorge, I looked up and saw above me a castle. One of those typical castles one sometimes sees in Bohemia. Of course, I had no idea of the part it was to play in my life. In fact, I was only thinking what a fine billet it would make. Garrison towns are like as two buttons on a uniform. At least they were in those days. As we came in, none of the townsfolk took any notice of us. They were so used to one regiment going and another one coming in. Besides, there was never any love lost between officers and townsfolk in those days. And at Kekesfalva, the feeling was very pronounced. In fact, out of the whole town, the officious little mayor was the only one who took the slightest notice of us. And our Colonel Bubenchik resented even that. Oh, Sergeant, you have no idea how different it was then. In those days, officers kept very much to themselves, thought to be a class apart. Well, I suppose I was more democratic than most of them. I used to get into hot water for mixing with the townsfolk. But I could never hurt people's feelings. And when that little mayor asked me whether I would like to visit his friend, as he called him, Baron Emil de Kekesfalva, well, I just accepted.
Baron Kekesfalva requests the pleasure of Lieutenant Anton Merrick's company.
So he's deserting us, eh? On our first night in the new quarters.
Who is this Baron, anyway?
I don't know.
Oh, how did you get an invitation?
I didn't. The mayor got it for me.
Oh. The mayor?
Yes,
You've been talking to that fellow?
I have.
My dear Tony, we also have certain standards. We must keep such people in their place.
Please don't try to put me in mind. Well, he asked me. I couldn't hurt his feelings, could I?
Of course not.
What's the matter with the Baron, anyway?
They're new rich people, I hear. The old man bought the title.
Very self-made.
Well, why shouldn't he accept? He'll get a good dinner.
Lieutenant Anton Merrick?
Yes. I regret I'm a little late.
This way, please, sir.
Thanks.
The Baron felt sure you would understand they had to be given dinner without you.
Of course, of course.
Lieutenant Anton Merrick.
I'm so glad you were able to come.
Sorry I'm so late, Baron.
I know how things crop up in the army.
Very kind of you.
I won't bother you with introductions in the middle of dinner. But you must meet my daughter, Edith. Won't you sit down?
Here you are, Lieutenant Merrick.
Your health, Lieutenant.
Mr. Mayor. Miloš Siva.
By the way, I'm a cousin of the family. Oh, let the poor young man get on with his dinner.
Do you live here all the time?
Heavens, no. One day I hope to have a life of my own.
Oh, haven't you? I did enjoy this dance. Thank you very much. Sir? Well, I'm not sure I haven't had enough.
Oh, to be young and enjoy oneself like you, sir.
You're not doing too badly, Mr. Mayor.
I can't do what I used to, but I do what I can.
A wonderful wine.
Wonderful women.
Charming ladies, Mr. Mayor. Well, that reminds me, I haven't paid my respects to the daughter of my host. Where has she hidden herself? Ah. May I have the pleasure of this dance? May I have this dance? Well, I was terribly sorry, but I had no idea when I asked her to dance it.
You asked her to dance. Oh, Edith. Edith, don't distress yourself. Edith.
Of course, anybody with more knowledge, more experience would have stayed and faced it out. But I was so utterly shocked and stunned that if I'd struck the girl with a whip, I couldn't have felt worse. Then I was seized by a sudden panic. Another moment, and everybody in the room would know what happened. I should be the gossip of the town. The regiment would hear of it and laugh. I had to get out of that room. Then I realized I'd only made things worse. But stubbornly I went on. I wanted to go back, to put things right. But instead I heard myself say, "My cloak, please."
Are you leaving us already, sir?
Yes, my cloak, please. Then, without realizing what I was doing and what it would mean, I dashed from the house.
What's happened?
All the way to the barracks, I kept hearing the words of that companion cousin of hers saying, "You asked her to dance. You asked her to dance." Those words were still ringing in my ears as I walked through the corridor. sleep was impossible. Always I was confronted with that angry, bewildered face. Those twitching lips, those hands clutching at the table.
Lieutenant Merrick, did you inspect this horse this morning before he went on parade?
No, sir.
No time, I suppose. Stop gadding about in the evening. Pay more attention to your troop. The worst turnout I've ever seen.
Yes, sir. Carry on. I don't know what's the matter with me today. Come on, please. Well, I should have noticed that.
You're off color, I expect. I'm not surprised.
You've heard about it?
Well, I heard you went to a party. Hey, what did you get up to?
Oh, shut up.
Upon you, Lieutenant. And your cloak, sir. You left it behind last night, the messenger said.
Left your cloak? What happened at this party? Did you get tight or you were thrown out or what? Come on, tell us.
I'll find out about it.
Leave him alone. I can trust Tony to behave himself. That's more than I can say for some of you. Hot water bandage on that tendon.
Let me read it first.
Sincere thanks, my dear Lieutenant, for the present of lovely flowers. Quite undeserved. Do please come and see us when your duties permit. I am Alice, always at home.
I am, alas, always at home.
Hello, where are you off to?
Aren't you coming with us? Not honoring the mess tonight?
I've got a call to make.
I bet he stays to dinner.
Lucky devil.
I hope you got your cloak back safely, sir.
Yes? Thank you. Foolish of me to forget it, wasn't it?
This way, please. Lieutenant Anton Merrick.
How nice of you to call so soon.
Don't be nervous, it's all right. Why won't you take off your sword? We're going to keep the peace, aren't we?
Yes.
What shall we offer you, tea or coffee?
Oh, whichever you like.
Not at all, whichever you prefer.
Well, then coffee, if I may, please.
I must apologize for my stupid outburst last night. I was so ashamed. I couldn't sleep all night.
For the first time in my life, I didn't sleep either.
For the first time?
Yes. I sleep like a log. As a rule.
How lucky you are.
Yeah?
You see, I used to love dancing. I even wanted to become a dancer. Only I don't know what poor father would have said to that. So when you asked me to dance, I wasn't even on Earth. I was in the clouds and...
Well, you will be dancing again one of these days.
Will I?
Oh, of course you will. It's only temporary.
Is it?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Well, it's nice to hear it said, anyway.
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
Do sit down.
You must come as often as you can bear it. Mustn't you, Father?
Of course. It would be a great kindness.
Kindness, yes. I used to find her in her chair on the terrace. She must have been thinking of those days only 2 years ago, when she could ride freely around the estate, inspecting one of the farms. Lead the life of an active, healthy girl. What happened could happen 100 times and no one be the worse for it. Just a spill, that's all. But this time it was different. She never rode again. I remember seeing the white horse by a crippled tree. A tree that was only half alive. That's how she must have felt. So I got in the habit of neglecting my fellow officers, and they resented that at times. I used to spend my afternoon at the castle, either driving around the estate with her, or else riding that white horse of hers, she loved it so much, or talking about horses to her. Of course, you must understand, I only went up there out of kindness. I had not the least idea what it might lead to. In fact, as time went on, I became almost like one of the family.
Check.
Oh, you're too good for me. Oh, you're
No.
too quick. The girls like
There
laughing.
it is.
Clean.
Oh, there.
Hey, you're cheating.
You weren't supposed to see me.
No wonder you always win. There's 8.
There's the 7,
8.
and there's 8.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm sorry. Now, look here. 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm winning. 10, I've won.
Yes. You won.
My first victory.
Edith here, the doctor.
Edith, Dr. Conder's here.
Doctor? You have to remind me of it at this minute. Can't I ever be allowed to forget it? Dr. Condor, exercises. Remedial exercises. What good does it do? What good?
I'm sorry, but we must try, mustn't we? Perhaps if the lieutenant
No.
will excuse...
Let him stay here with Father while I march off. Joseph, help me up, please. No, don't carry me. Ilona, my crutches. My crutches.
But Edith...
Please. Well, why should I hide anything? He may as well see me as I am. To our next merry meeting. I hope you won't be too horrified to see us again.
I'm terribly sorry for her.
You've been so good. Have taken so much pity on her. Is it...
Yes?
Is it possible that I could have your help?
My help?
You can do me a great service.
Well, of course, Baron, if I can.
Come to the study. I must talk to you before I see Dr. Condor. Doctors. Every famous doctor in the world's been called in. I'm rich. One by one, they've pocketed their fees and departed. Incurable.
Oh, I don't believe that.
There you're right. It can't be. It shan't be incurable. Only one of them has never given up. It's Dr. Condor. Oh, you wouldn't have heard of him. He's not famous. He's too honest. His other patients are all poor. They don't pay him anything, I don't suppose, but he doesn't care. His one passion is to get the better of disease. That man feels personally guilty if he can't cure. personally guilty.
He sounds a fine man. But tell me, Baron, what can I do in this?
I'm an old man. I must know whether I shall see my daughter recover before I die. I must know.
It may be very stupid, but why don't you ask him?
No, that's just it. I'm afraid of all doctors, even of Conda. Afraid that even he wouldn't tell me the truth.
Then why should he tell me?
Because you're a stranger. He's no need to spare your feelings. If you were to ask him casually, indirectly, catch him off his guard, he might tell you the truth. Will you do this?
Is that all? Oh, Baron. By the way you talked, I thought you wanted to borrow $1 million of me.
The moment I set eyes on you, I had confidence in you. I knew you were a good man.
Me? Good?
And you don't even know it. That's so refreshing. Come along. You're doing me a very great service. And if ever I can do anything for you...
Certainly not.
Oh, I don't mean money, of course, but I have a certain amount of influence with the ministries, the war office.
Please, Baron, don't consider yourself a matter at all. Now, come on, let me meet this wonderful doctor. I'll soon wheedle the answer out of him.
There he is. Don't forget.
Baron, you've been making too many millions lately. You don't eat, you don't sleep, you don't do anything I tell you.
This is Lieutenant Marek.
How do you do, sir?
Lieutenant. Baron, it's curious. I found a change in your daughter today.
A change?
Joseph. Joseph promised to get me something to eat on the train, didn't you, Joseph?
Yes.
I knew you wouldn't forget me. A friend in need. How's that muscle of yours?
Thank you, sir.
Keep on with that treatment I gave you. And our friend here, the fat Pepic, that toe of yours.
Oh, better, sir, better.
Out at your age. Don't you drink so much of the Baron's sport?
You told me you'd found a change in her. What kind of a change?
Your mind always jumps to the worst. There's certainly something very odd about her. You've been calling in another doctor.
Doctor, I swear to you...
I believe you. Ah, spring onions. God was very kind to us when he gave us spring onions.
Yes, but tell me, how has she changed?
How can I explain? Here, you. You noticed the difference if somebody borrowed your horse for a couple of days, wouldn't you?
Comparison is a little crude, if I may say, sir.
Maybe. Would you take my meaning?
But how does this change in her show itself?
Increased impatience, extreme irritability, a sense of resentment, frustration even.
Is that very bad?
Might be very good. I like my patients to bite my head off. It shows vitality, the will to recover. For instance, if one were thinking of starting a new treatment, this would be a good time for it.
New treatment? You've discovered something new?
Once and for all, Baron, I never make promises. I'm a doctor, not a magician. She must continue the exercises, of course, walking exercises, stretching exercises, and above all, keep her happy. Your visits help very much, I should imagine. How about the carriage?
Doctor, perhaps you will allow me to share your carriage as far as the station.
Certainly, my dear fellow. I shall have a beautiful bout of indigestion after this. It'll make me sleep like a log on the train. Good.
Now, I would like to ask you something, Doctor.
You haven't got a pain, have you?
No, I am as healthy as a horse.
Very apt.
It must be very wearing looking after patients every day. I would like to know
Oh, it's
whether...
not the patients, it's the relatives. They always want to know the truth.
Oh, yes. Now, exactly what is the truth?
Ah, a brother philosopher, huh? Well, that's more interesting than people's aches and pains.
Well, Doctor...
Well, as Confucius says, and now finally, we want a more modern definition.
Yes.
Now, the modern approach is entirely different. I hope you now know something about truth. In the most interesting discussion, it's one-sided. Good night, you, sir.
Good night, Doctor. Oh, I say, Doctor, Well, now that I'm here, I may as well see you off, huh?
Oh, don't trouble.
Wait a minute. I've been trying to ask you this all the time. The case of the young Baroness, is it curable or not?
So that was the truth you wanted, just that. You will never get me to pronounce the word incurable. Do you think that I'd torture that poor girl if I thought that her case was hopeless? Now look what you made me do. Well, if that was the truth you wanted, you may as well have it. So far, I've achieved practically nothing.
Nothing. But her father said how much good this treatment had done her.
Electrical baths, remedial exercises, rubbish, mumbo-jumbo. In these not yet curable cases, we have to pull off a kind of swindle.
Swindle?
Yes, a swindle. The right kind of swindle. I must make her want to live, want to be cured, believe in a cure, until I can cure. Well, have I destroyed your illusions about kindly infallible doctors?
Oh, it's not that. But it's shocking to think that she may be a cripple for life.
Have I said it was hopeless? Ah, here we are. Anything can happen. For instance, I read in a Swiss medical journal the description of a treatment in a case like Edith's, and in 4 months, the patient was able to climb up 5 flights of stairs.
Really?
Of course, that was just one case.
Well, can't you find out more about it?
Naturally. I wrote off for precise details at once. But of course, this may not apply to Edith's case at all.
Right.
Well, I have to clutch at every straw, you know.
Well, do you think then that this new...
Oh, you're as bad as any relative. What more do you want me to say? Am I in telephonic communication with the powers above? I'm just a poor man struggling to do his best. Well, thanks for your company. I hope you don't dislike me as much as you did earlier this evening.
Heavens, did I show it?
No, but I knew it. Good night.
Good night. What do you want? Belle, what are you doing?
I couldn't sleep until I knew what he told you.
You must go home quickly. Come on.
But I must know. What did he say?
Who?
Dr. Conda. Haven't you spoken to him?
You have been waiting here all this time in this weather?
Yes, I can wait. That at least I have learned. What did Conda say?
Well, everything will be all right, I'm sure of it. We'll discuss it tomorrow, shall we?
Didn't he say anything? Is there no real hope?
Well, there is a chance of a new treatment.
New treatment? He knows something. Something new.
Well, something of the kind has been cured in Switzerland.
Yes?
Well, I oughtn't to say anything further.
Yes,
Belle.
but you must. What is this new treatment? Did it cure? It did. I can see it in your face.
Well, it did, yes, but that's no guarantee that it will succeed with Edith.
Yes, but it might. Isn't that so?
Oh, yes, it might.
Then it will.
No, I didn't say it would.
Yes, but it has, hasn't it?
It has in one case, yes. But come on, let me take you to your cab.
Wait. How long does this new treatment take?
Ah, that is very difficult to say.
How long?
Well, the Switzerland case took about 4 months.
Only 4 months?
Now, look here, Belle. Please understand, it's by no means certain.
She'll get well, thank God. She'll get well.
Now, please hurry home. You must go home. Well, you're all very cheerful today.
You've reason to be, sir, haven't we?
It's the good news, sir.
Good news.
They will tell you inside, sir. It's not for us to talk. In the study, if you please, sir.
Well,
You go to the terrace. The Baroness will be coming.
Wedding of one of the tenants, sir. Oh, that's why everybody's so happy. Not at all. We know the real reason, don't we? I hate to keep asking, but what is this good news? He asks that.
Oh, come on, kind gentleman. Let me read your thoughts.
Thanks, I believe in luck.
You mustn't believe. Give the bride close to the And this too,
There he is, the man himself.
What is all this good news everybody talks about?
Well, listen to him. You ought to know. You brought it yourself.
I did?
She means the news you told me last night. The new cure that's going to work such wonders. What else could have made us all so happy? Shall we have the bridal party in?
Tony, we want to hear it all from you. Father came in late last night, woke me up and told me the news. We talked and laughed and planned all night long.
now listen, Edith. Dr. Condor merely said he was making inquiries.
Oh, if Dr. Conda makes half a promise, he'll keep it. I always knew those awful exercises and those arm contraptions on my legs were no good. Look, I've taken them off already. Father says The Switzerland cure will only take 4 months.
Yes, Edith, but only in that particular case.
Oh, I don't care if it's 6 months or even a year, as long as I know that someday I shall walk again and ride again.
Come in, come in. A happy day for us and a lucky day for you. I think my daughter has something for you, and I shall want your signatures over here in a moment.
Kind lady. Jadwiga. Do you love him? Oh, yes, so please you, Baroness. And you?
Yes, please, Baroness.
And as this is such a happy day for me, too, take this. For me? My own?
I haven't forgotten our bargain. You were to stay with us till Edith got well. Now she's going to be well. On the day she walks again, I'll double that dowry I promised you and make your fiancé the manager of the sawmills, and then you can marry him. Well, come on, smile. Oh, I tell her all this and she cries.
Only that it has all come so suddenly. I shall be very happy.
Wonderful to be able to dispense happiness like that, Baron. Well, come along, canoodlers. We have business to transact, documents to sign in your best handwriting. Cigars, perhaps, Baron?
Help yourself. You'll find them in the cabinet over there.
Give me your hand, pretty lady. Let me see your fortune. Edith, no. Oh, what harm can it do? Oh, I see it all plainly. There is great happiness for you. Anything else? Why, yes. That you will walk again, freely in the sight of God. But it depends on a man. There's a man. Oh, yes, a fine, handsome man. You'd better go away.
Me?
She might mean you.
Oh, she couldn't. She said handsome.
Go away, go away.
No, I want to hear all about this handsome man.
The telephone, sir, for you.
For me? From the barracks?
They wouldn't say, sir.
Oh, I wonder who that can be. Excuse me.
Tell your old colonel you'll be late. Anything else you can see?
Thank you. I don't know who can be ringing me here. Hello. Dr. Condor? What? There's no truth in...
I said there is no such cure. The report from Switzerland shows that the cure effective there has no bearing at all on a case like Edith's. I suppose you realize what you've done. Just a chance remark of mine, you've given the poor girl the hopes of being able to ride and run and dance in a few months. Why didn't you promise her the sun and moon and stars at the same time? They've been telephoning me all day, wild with happiness. And it's all based on nothing. You hear? Nothing.
Just a moment. People coming.
Oh, my little thank you, lady. Thank you so much.
Don't forget the gypsy, pretty lady. No, of course not. Oh, well, there you are. Oh, thank you, lady. Bless you, lady. You get all the good luck, lady. You get all the good fortune, lady. You mustn't take the gypsy's words as gospel. Oh, of course I know it's all humbug, but it's such fun to be taken in. Well, one thing she said was true anyway. I shall be riding again in 6 months' time. Shan't I, Tony?
Yes, of course.
Well, can't you say it with more conviction?
Yes, of course.
That's better. We'll be on the terrace. Oh, do get rid of your old colonel or whoever it is and come along.
All right. That was Edith.
Yes, I heard most of that. And a fine mess you got me into. Now, I'll tell you what I've got to do. I'll have to let her go to Switzerland. I've got to keep up this thumping lie of yours. I hate to do it, but in her present emotional state, I daren't risk the reaction. And you've got to keep it up, too, confound you.
Yes. Yes, I understand.
Leave it. Don't fuss over me. They needn't treat me as an invalid anymore.
Well, you're not quite recovered yet, you know.
You ought to see yourself. Now that you know you can get away and marry a man, you smile and smile to yourself like a cat with a bowl full of cream.
Can you blame me?
No, it's only envy on my part. Green, green envy. Why do you think he comes here so often?
Who?
Oh, don't ask, fool. You must have guessed. Now stop writing. Haven't you? Perhaps. Does it show in my face? I should die of shame if I thought he saw it. Why don't you say something? I asked you, why do you think he comes here so often? Pity?
At first, perhaps it was.
Of course, as long as I was an invalid, I couldn't really expect a healthy, athletic man to think of me as anything else. But now it's only a question of months. Ilona, don't think me mad. Ilona, I want to try to walk.
Walk? But Edith, that's impossible. You can't.
Do you remember what the gypsy said?
She just said, when the man you love loves you, you will walk again. But Edith, gypsies say anything.
Help me out.
Don't build on it.
What harm can I do to try?
It's too soon. It's too soon.
Well, I never did believe in gypsies anyhow. Besides, I don't want a gypsy to tell me what I can find out with my own eyes. There he is. Now, Ilona, if we go to Switzerland, you will have a lot of packing to do.
And you want me to go and do it? I've been sent to pack for Switzerland.
At last. Oh, you don't know what this means to me. You see, in the morning when I wake up, I want to jump out of bed, and I really feel I can. And when I try, it's like being tied to a post or hobbled to a stake in the ground. Well, now tell me, you don't seem to be very happy about this news.
Well, my dear child, what do you want me to say?
Well, don't call me my dear child. I'm not a child. Far from it. Well, when will you come and see us?
Come where?
Well, Switzerland.
So... How do you suppose I could get away? I parade myself in front of the colonel and, saluting smartly, say, well, goodbye, Colonel. I'm off to Switzerland for a week. Carry on, old boy, huh?
Very amusing. But Father could fix it in a minute. He knows a dozen people at the War Office.
No, thank you. I want to be on the same footing as my brother officers. Besides, I couldn't afford that trip.
Oh, but naturally, Father would pay all your expenses.
But heavens, no.
I see. Francisco! No, don't trouble. Francisco will wheel me today. Franco?
Yes, Baroness?
Has my Angèle come back?
Angèle is back, Baroness. She must have hurt herself in the valley, but she managed to get back again, thank goodness. And I...
Leave it. Can't you see they want to be alone?
So you don't want to come?
Well, I didn't say I didn't want to come. I said I couldn't.
Even if I asked you, as a dear friend.
I'm sorry, but I can't.
Very well. Our humble request has been refused. Well, we shall get over it. After all, we managed quite well without you in the past. But there's just one more thing I want to know. If you feel like that, why'd you come here at all?
Oh, that's quite simple.
Simple, is it? Good. Then answer it.
Well, why should there be anything mysterious about it?
Why, indeed?
Well, I never ask myself why I do this or that. I just do it.
Well?
I suppose I come here to see you. I thought you liked to see me. Though heaven knows why, I'm a very ordinary sort of person.
Still, you haven't said yet why you come.
Oh, that's easy. I know you're very much alone. You don't see a lot of people, do you? So naturally, I like to come up here and try to amuse you, or take your mind off things, or at least help you to pass the time away. That's all. There's no mystery about it.
No. No mystery at all. So the only reason why you trot out here every day is to play the Good Samaritan. Is that it?
Oh, I never said that. You're twisting my words.
Do you think I want your charity? Do you think I want you to come and dole out your daily dose of pity? Especially when I know that you have the same feeling for every whipped cur or mangy cat. I used to see that look of pity in everybody's eyes. I made up my mind that rather than put up with it, I'd make an end.
But heavens above, what are you talking about?
A fine view out here, isn't it? Sun, fresh air, as the doctor ordered. The architect did a good job, didn't he? But he'd no idea to what purpose his good job could be put. I see you look around. Do you think I couldn't get over those railings? One has only to pull this pin out, swing the rail in, and... simple. It would be so easy. So very, very easy.
Get away from
How
there.
dare you touch me? Let me go! Let me go!
Edith! Ilona!
Let me go!
Joseph, come here!
Go away!
Joseph!
Go away! Go away!
No, thank you, sir.
Your coat, sir.
Oh, let it be, friend, let it be.
Let me send to the barracks for another coat, sir.
No, I'm going back to barracks
The
now.
Baroness would be very upset if you went without a word. We should all be very grateful if you'd stay, sir.
We? How you all love this poor girl, don't you? All right. I'll leave a message with Miss Ilona.
Thank you, sir.
I stopped the lift here because I wanted to speak to you.
And I wanted to leave the message with you.
Edith asked if you'll go to her room and say goodbye before you go.
Oh, yes.
You'll have to be patient with her. She has these sudden outbursts these days. We all suffer for them. And afterwards, she's so ashamed. She just wants to know that you've forgiven her.
All right.
Please, do come and sit over here. I hope this means that you've forgiven me.
Yes, on one condition.
What condition?
Don't you think you should have more confidence in your friends?
Why, no. I have. I trust you absolutely.
Right. Then let's see you as you really are. Like you were that day at the stables when I rode your horse, remember?
Yes, like that.
Gay, lovely, well, just a good companion.
That's how it should be.
And that's how it's going to be, isn't it?
Yes.
Good.
Oh, I know I have been irritable and impatient and... Oh, I've been unbearable.
Oh.
But I haven't always been like that, have I? I don't know what's come over me lately, but I promise you I'll be different. I'll be exactly as you want me to be.
All right.
It isn't only pity, is it?
Of course not. I've told you.
And you do believe in this cure, don't you?
Of course.
I'll pin my faith on that.
Well, that's fine.
Your uniform.
Huh? Oh, yes. A naughty child upset some water over it.
You should have smacked her.
Oh, no. She asked very prettily to be forgiven. And she's going to do as she's told.
What is she to do?
Be patient, friendly, and gay. Obey doctor's orders. And go to sleep and not talk anymore.
Has the child been good this time?
Perfectly. She shall have full marks. Good night.
Have you forgotten what a good child gets before going to sleep? She gets a good night kiss, doesn't she?
Oh, yes, I'd almost forgotten that. Good night.
Now go away. You see, I'm not a child.
I see.
What is it? What's happened?
Oh, nothing. Oh, please leave me alone.
No. Edith has said something to you, hasn't she? I mean, about yourself.
Yes.
And you really hadn't noticed it before.
But how could I possibly have had any idea of such a thing?
No one but a fool could have helped seeing it.
Well, after what has happened, I can't come here again.
No. Don't think you can just walk out and leave us. You don't love her. Is that it?
And not in that way.
And never will?
No.
Not even when she comes back from Switzerland. Cured. Answer.
There is no such cure.
But Dr. Conda said
Dr. Conda said nothing. You all built up this illusion on a chance word from me.
A chance word that meant nothing. What are we to do?
Well, everything has to go on as usual.
Oh, listen to him. Listen to him.
Quiet. Go on as usual.
Fine. Fine for you.
What is it to you?
Oh, nothing. Except that I'm tied. Tied now and forever and ever and ever. I shall never get away from this house, this prison. Listen to that bell. It rings time and time again in the night. And when I go to her, she's sitting up in bed crying out, "Do you think he will ever love me? You lie. He never says a kind word to me that he wouldn't throw to a dog," and on and on and on. And you say everything's got to go on as usual?
I'm sorry, but I can't help it.
Believe me, oh, believe me. Not ever do I dare hope that you can love me as I love you. But wait. Wait until God takes pity on me and makes me well again. I implore you to forgive me for what happened tonight. Forgive me. For there's no night and no day without you, but only despair.
Tony, what's happened? The mass call.
The what?
Wake up, man. You'll be late. He's already arriving.
Who?
Wake up. The Archduke Franz Ferdinand, our guest of honor. Wake up, man. Listen. He's here.
Kuzma!
For my part, I always found life to get to town insupportable. Give me Vienna every time. You know, you fellows have a big tough life.
I might suggest that this will be quicker.
Gentlemen, be seated. Just in time.
regiment such as this becomes a man's whole life. And there is no finer life in the world. In fact, gentlemen, I always feel that when a young officer joins a regiment such as
Go
this,
on living if you
he
take
takes upon himself a sick...
Send me some sign you forgive me. A letter, a note, a blank sheet of paper even. Only don't cut me out of your life forever. You see, I'm not a child. It isn't only pity, is it? You do believe in this cure, don't you?
Don't think you can just walk out and leave us.
With a regiment with such glorious traditions of gallantry and honor.
I gave her to this I didn't have enough fear, you know. Rheumatism getting me down. I couldn't get out if I didn't come on.
Is anyone there? Is anyone there?
I'm waiting to see Dr. Condor.
Oh, it's not yet consulting hours. You must come back later.
It concerns one of his patients.
His patients, always his patients. My husband was called out at 2 o'clock this morning and again at 5. He's not in yet.
I'm sorry, but I must wait.
And when he does come in, what will happen? Patients will crowd in on him all day long. You all cling to him like leeches because he's willing to give and give and give. But I will not allow it. You must leave him in peace, if only for an hour. He must eat, he must sleep. Just 1 hour, that's all I ask of you. Now be off, please, be off.
All right, I'll see the boy. Give me time, give me time. So you're here.
Don't see anyone now. I've explained. He'll wait.
This time you're wrong, my dear. This is not a patient. This is a friend, Lieutenant Merrick.
Oh, I'm sorry. The things I said. Will he forgive me?
Oh, you must ask him.
Everyone takes advantage. He gives everything. His time, his nerves, his energy, even his money. And with my blindness, I can do so little. I tell him you simply can't help the whole world.
Well, there's no harm in trying. Now, what about my breakfast?
You shall have it, but will he eat it?
Well, what's gone wrong at the Keckers father's?
Doctor, I'd better show you this letter. It's from Edith.
So that was it. You remember I asked you for another doctor being called in?
Yes.
I couldn't understand the sudden feverish desire to be well in an instant. I never thought of the logical reason glaring me in the face that the poor girl had fallen in love.
Well, now, of course, you must put a stop to it. You will have to tell her.
Tell her? Tell her what?
Well, tell her it's all nonsense. You must talk her out of it.
Talk her out of what? Out of being in love. Can I say fever cease raging or fire stop burning? A fine, kindly thought, a shouting invalid. What do you suppose you're doing, falling in love like other people? Is that what you expect?
Well, I can't help it. You must do something. You are her doctor, not I.
I see.
I simply say I'm not going to tell her.
No, you're not. And you know why? I'll tell you why. You won't like it, but I'm in no mood to spare you. Because to tell her now at this critical moment would be a dastardly crime.
Crime?
In fact, it would be nothing less than murder. Yes. Murder. Think it over.
Doctor.
Yes, my your medicine. I'll get it for you. Sit down.
Yes, I will, Doctor. Thank you.
Have you no heart at all? Do you really think that a proud creature like Edith could possibly go on living if the first time she opened her heart, the gallant gentleman ran away in a panic? Even a normal, healthy woman would find it hard to stand such a slight. It would shatter any woman's pride. This girl would never survive such humiliation. She'd go away with herself.
No, you exaggerate. People don't do things like that.
You say that to a doctor?
But what am I to do? I can't encourage her. I can't, and I won't.
Steady, my boy, steady. I shall have you on my hands next. Let's see some of the courage that you profess as a soldier.
Oh, courage, that's different.
It is. Moral courage is more rare. She'll be leaving in a week for Switzerland. Give me this 1 week. Can you do that?
But how can I, Doctor? Didn't you read that letter she wrote me? I can't ignore that. Just call as usual. All right. 1 week, Doctor. Until you get her to Switzerland. I'll try.
Late? Oh, Edith, don't look so worried. He had to go to Vienna yesterday. He may still be there. His time's not his own. He's in the army.
No, I was just thinking he might have sent me a word or a line or telephone. Just to hear his voice would have been something. Surely he must know how I feel.
Oh, no.
Yes. I've thrown myself at his head, haven't I? It's a little humiliating to have no reply at all.
Lieutenant Merrick has called. There. See? Ask him.
I can't see him. I can't.
Ask Lieutenant Merrick to wait, please. Very good. Edith.
Don't you see? Now that he's got the letter, there can be no more doubt. The barriers are down. It's either yes or no. And the moment I see his face, I shall know which it is.
Edith, don't expect too much. Men don't see things in black and white as we do. He's not rich, you are. He may be sensitive about that. He may feel
What
that he...
are you trying to tell me?
I'm not trying to tell you anything. Shall I tell him to go?
It's agony not to know. Send him in. I've got to face it. And it's better to know, one way or the other. Isn't it?
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Merrick. Won't you come in?
Good afternoon. I'm sorry I couldn't come yesterday. I had to go to Vienna.
Yes. I understand.
You've done your hair differently, haven't you?
Yes. Do you like it?
Oh, it's charming.
Lieutenant Merrick in yet?
No, sir. I understand he will not be coming to mess tonight.
Captain Ferenc, isn't it your duty to see that young officers don't make bigger fools of themselves than the Almighty intended?
Why, yes, sir.
But why don't you do it? Any fool can see there's something wrong with Merrick. One moment he wants 24 hours leave in Vienna for private affairs. Now he's going back with a white face, though he had the staggers.
I'm afraid, sir, he's become involved.
With that Kekersfelder family, such as it is?
Yes, sir.
Well, see to it. Question him. And if you can't get any sense out of him, send him up before me officially. Do you understand? Officially.
Very good, sir.
Private affairs? What the devil does he mean by having private affairs at all? He's in the army.
Tony, something's wrong. What is it?
Nothing.
Now, Tony.
Nothing, I tell you.
Is it something to do with this family you see so much of?
Well, I can go there if I want to, can't I?
Yes, but you don't have to, do you? I mean, they haven't bought you body and soul, have they?
Captain Ferrens, I resent that. I'm sorry, Ferrens. If it's of any interest, it's unlikely I shall be going there in the future.
I'm very glad to hear it. I'm sure you will agree that with a serving officer, the interests of the regiment must always come first.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Gentleman waiting, sir. Seems very anxious to see you.
Dr. Condor?
Wouldn't give his name, sir.
Condor, thank heaven you're here.
Forgive this intrusion, Lieutenant Marek.
Certainly. Be seated, won't you?
I know I've no right to take up your time.
Well, what can I do for you?
It's Edith.
Oh. Should you not consult Dr. Condor rather than me?
No one can help her but you. Even Condor says so. I beseech you, have pity on her.
Oh, please, Baron.
Help her. She will kill herself in order that you may be left in peace and be rid of her.
Yourself,
no
Baron.
one can help
Of course
her.
I will do anything reasonable, but just tell me what I'm to say, what I'm to do.
Do you mean you don't understand? Heavens above, hasn't she offered herself to you, and you say nothing?
I've tried my best to be kind. I've told her...
You've told her nothing, and you're driving her mad with your silence. She's waiting for one thing, for the one word that every woman waits for from the man she loves. She'd never dare hope while there was no prospect of a cure, but now that is certain, hasn't she the right to expect the same life as any other woman? And you don't say the one word that will make her happy. Everything I possess, I would leave to you both. You can have it tomorrow, any time you like. I don't want anything for myself now. I only want someone to look after my child when I am gone.
Baron, I'm sorry, but what you ask is impossible.
Then I'm to go back and tell her that? If that's how you feel, I'm sorry you've been disturbed.
Please, Baron. Please don't take it like that. You see, of course I'm quite genuinely fond of your daughter.
Fond?
And it's quite a mistake on her part to think that she means nothing to me. On the contrary.
But if she means something to you...
I can't say anything now, can I? She has to think only of her health. Isn't that so?
Yes, but afterwards. When she comes back well and strong again.
Oh, afterwards?
I can't leave her in suspense. She must know what to expect, one way or another.
Why, then, of course, I come to you with the usual question, if I may ask for a hand in marriage.
May I tell her that?
Yes, tell her that.
There is the wine I laid down the day she was born. It is the wine I'd hoped to drink one day when she was betrothed. When you come again, I shall hope to drink to you both. Good night.
Good night, Baron.
Please take the master's chair. Just for a moment. Let me see you both as you will be someday.
Father, before you drink, let me have one word with him. We leave tomorrow to take this new cure, which I hope will bring me back to the world of those who really live. But I want you to know this. Should it fail, for any reason, all promises between us are at an end. Now, Father, your toast, if you will.
Will you permit me? Your health.
Health. And all it may bring to me. And I hope to you. Just to remind you of me while I'm away.
And now, to you both. Would you like Joseph to come and carry you to the salon?
No. Not just now. Is Ilona there?
We'll see. Ilona.
Edith, what is it? Don't you want Joseph to carry you?
I'm going to walk.
I'm not taking the gypsy's words literally.
What was it she said?
She said, when the man you love loves you, you will walk freely in the sight of God. Edith, don't expect miracles.
Why not? When I've seen one already tonight.
Please, please don't try to walk. The age of miracles is past. Don't you believe it? I'll walk with it. You'll see.
No, don't. Ilona, let me be. I know I can walk. I'll walk.
Don't watch her. Keep out of sight. No, not in the hall. We have to carry her that way. In there. Edith.
celebrate the great occasion, no doubt.
Celebrating? What should we be celebrating?
Not all you officers despise our little town.
Waiter, Connie, bring the bottle. Yes. Celebrating, are we?
Celebrating what? Now look here. I'm very tired of your insinuations. Can't you speak out and say what you mean? Celebrating what?
Isn't that for you to tell us? Quiet, Blennick. What I mean, Merrick, is this. The mayor is spreading the story that you were engaged to the young lady, as we must call her, the daughter of the Baron Kegestaller.
What the devil does he mean? No. No! No, I tell you! I'm not engaged to anyone, and I have no intention of being engaged, now or ever.
You mean that?
Of course I mean it. Waiter, where's that cognac?
Claire, I told you so. You said he would never sell himself to that.
I'd rather shoot myself than get involved with a family like that.
Order champagne.
Come here and wake me up in the middle of the night. You tell me you stood up in a cafe, in a public place, in front of your fellow officers, and you lied to them. Good heavens, the whole town will hear of it. That mayor will never keep his mouth shut, the fat fool. Is that what you mean to tell me?
Yes, sir.
I can't understand it. It's never happened before in the regiment. It's unthinkable it should happen. What the devil's been done about it? I don't know. Now, what do you propose to do about it?
Nothing to do, sir, but to resign. I'll send in my papers.
Oh, don't be a fool. You young officers are all the same. Something goes wrong, you take the bit between your teeth and bolt down the road. Thank heaven you had the sense come to me at once. Now, first, sit down. Well, sit down there.
Yes, sir.
Now, look out, boy. I like order and precision. Now, first, I want a list of all the officers present. Use that pencil. No, that one. All right. Tomorrow, I'll have you transferred to special duties at Chaslow. Yes, that'll get you out of the way. They can't ask you questions.
But don't you think
Don't talk, right. Now, the officers, I must stop them from challenging the mayor's statement. I'll parade them in the morning at 6 o'clock. They must keep their mouths shut.
Well, with all due respect, sir, they heard me deny it, and...
Who's managing this miserable affair, you or I?
You, sir.
Yes, that's right. You lied to them. I have to get round that.
I'm afraid you can't get round that, sir.
Oh, don't be a fool, boy. Haven't you any brains? You had been drinking. You'd been drinking heavily. Bad company, bad liquor. Very reprehensible, but you were drunk, sir.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Not at all. You were drunk. So, when you came into the cafe, you didn't understand what your fellow officers were saying.
Oh, I see now.
About time, too. Let me see that list. Put that pencil down. Oh, no, there. Haven't you any sense of order? I suppose that Baron got hold of you, the old fox. However, that is your affair. I'm only concerned with the regiment. Are all the names here?
Yes, sir.
Good. Report to me at 5 a.m., ready and packed. Understand? You will catch the 5:30 train to Vienna. Remember, you're acting under orders now. You are a soldier. There's no question of private affairs. No communication with anyone before you leave. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Good night.
To the station, prisoner.
Right.
through to Dr. Connor on the telephone. I'll have to go there myself. Wait for me on the platform for Chaslow. Dr. Connor, please, quickly.
He's not back yet, sir. Will you call again? You can't come in if he's not here. That's what they told me to say.
I'm not a patient.
It's my first day here, sir. I don't want to do anything wrong.
When will Dr. Connor be back? It's very urgent. Can't you answer?
There's no need to bully Trudy. I am here.
Mrs. Condor, I tried to telephone you from the station, but I couldn't even get near the phone. Hundreds of people. No, I don't know what it is, but something unusual must have happened. So I had to come myself.
The doctor's not here.
In that case, I have to give a message to you. I'm to proceed under orders at once.
You could spare yourself excuses. The Baron has telephoned several times.
For me?
Hardly. He needs a doctor to heal what you have hurt. Come in here.
Mrs. Connor, my train for Chaslow leaves in half an hour. I must give my message and go.
Come in here, please. Or are you going to take advantage of my blindness and run away?
No. I'm here to give a message, and I'll give it.
Trudy? You're not to blame. You did very well for your first day.
Now, Mrs. Condor, here's my message. I promise to let the doctor know if I failed. Well, I have failed. That's all.
Why are you running away?
I'm not running away. I am under orders for my regiment. I was ordered to leave at once and not to communicate with anyone before I left.
Not even your fellow officers?
No.
Pity. They spread the story all over the town.
My denial? Does she know?
Not yet. But she will.
I regret it. I regret it very much. But there's nothing I can do.
Nothing? Are you sure?
Well, now that I'm free to communicate, I suppose I could write to her.
Write?
Say frankly that I've made a mistake, that she must forgive me and forget me.
And all the proper things? Why don't you write now?
Thank you. I will. I've just time. Brief. Just the facts.
You do not like what you write, do you, Lieutenant?
It's not always easy to say what one means.
Even if one means it.
Please allow me to finish this letter. I have to catch my train for Chaslow.
Do you know what I think? Your hand is trying to write that you don't love her. But your heart is crying angrily, coward, coward, coward. You love her.
Nothing of the kind. Now listen, Mrs. Condor. I may have become fond of her.
Yes?
As one does when one is sorry for a person. But it was only a kindness. I'm sure it was only that. A sort of pity that grew and...
And grew, yes. There are two kinds of pity, my friend. The weak, sentimental kind. Easy words of comfort. Gifts that flatter the giver. We all know that kind, don't we? Then there's the other kind that helps and heals, that holds out in patience and forbearance to the very limit of its strength and even beyond. We call that compassion.
Compassion?
You know what's sticking in your throat? You're afraid that your fellow officers might say that you've sold yourself to a rich family and a crippled girl.
But I have to live in the world, don't I? In the army, public opinion matters. It's idiotic to say it doesn't. It's the same in every profession.
Oh, yes. I know that only too well. I suppose you heard something of the gossip about my husband. They say he bungled his treatment of my case and blinded me. And that he married me to cover up his blunder. Yes, and many other cruel things.
No one who knows them could believe such a thing.
Oh, yes, they could. It did him great harm professionally. But he married me because he knew that I had faith in him alone. As Edith has faith in you. He knew that without him I should perish. You see, he had compassion.
But then the doctor is a different sort of man. I'm just a regimental officer. I dare say we are rather limited in our outlook, but that's how it is. Mrs. Condor, I haven't the capacity for feeling like that.
How can you tell? Oh, that's the kettle boiling.
Be careful. The door's closing.
Oh, it's all right. I always know.
Now, Mrs. Condor, suppose, just for a moment, I did marry her. What would come of it? What could come of it? Happiness? For her? Well, how could it?
Look at me. I haven't seen a mirror for years, but I don't imagine time has been very kind. And my husband, just a plain, simple human being. Yet between two such ordinary people has grown up something that you read about in the good book. You remember? A love which passeth all understanding. Something touched us. Some magic from within. It was born of a great compassion.
I believe it could happen to people like you and the doctor.
What has been given to us can be given to you and her. You began with pity. It's become what it has through compassion. I know it. You know it. Don't throw away something precious because the world laughs at things it can't understand. Take this chance. Risk it. Suppose it doesn't succeed. Even a glorious failure has always been worthwhile, hasn't it?
I don't know. I just don't know. And would it be fair to her? Or would it?
She needs you so much. The happy, healthy ones haven't the same need for love. They take it as their due. It could never be the whole meaning of life for them. But those others, the unlovely, the slighted, the unfortunate, they alone know how to love as one should love. Gratefully. As one receives a gift beyond price.
I wish I had your courage.
It would be a great gamble, wouldn't it?
With long odds against me.
Did that ever stop a sportsman from trying?
No, makes it worthwhile.
Good.
Yes. Do you mind if I telephone her?
Of course, at once.
But do you think she will ever forgive my running away from her like that? Because I can't deny it. She must know me as I am.
Just let her hear your voice. She's a woman, and women love to forgive.
Do they? Hello? Oh, operator, can you... What? You can't take private calls? Why not? Something wrong on the line? Mrs. Condor, they can't take private calls. Haven't you paid your bill or something?
Of course. Operator, you can't cut us off. This is a doctor's house. You mean mine or everybody's? What on earth does it mean?
Do excuse me. Now, listen, operator. Can you put me through to the War Office, extension 262? Yes, Lieutenant Merrick. That's strange. Sounds like a national emergency, doesn't it? War Office, 262. This is Lieutenant Merrick speaking, sir. Belenke. Well, well, well. What would the... I mean, what are you doing there? Must be serious. I say, what's all this excitement about? Is the Emperor dead or what? Not far wrong. Yeah? Yes. Of course. Yes. Report at once. Yes, sir. So that's what it is. General mobilization has been ordered. I have to report at once. The Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated this morning in Sarajevo.
How terrible.
How far away is Dr. Condor?
Salzburg.
Salzburg? And we can't get through to him either. Mrs. Condor, at 4:30 or 5, she expects me to come and say goodbye before she goes to Switzerland. She may have heard the whole story of my denial.
You mean you're afraid of what she might do?
Exactly. That roof garden high over the valley.
Oh, no.
The very place. She even pointed it out to me.
We must get word to her at once.
Yes, but how? And I have to report at the War Office. Mrs. Condor, please do everything possible to get a message through to her. And surely there is a chance the doctor will be back, isn't there?
A chance? If not, I'll get to her myself. Rely on me.
Thank you. And tell her I will be coming back. I will be back as soon as this emergency is over.
I'll tell her.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's remounts for you, Captain.
But, sir.
Can't help it, that's orders. Lieutenant, chance now for you. Off you go like a shot from a gun or a whisk of a broom. Now, my young friend. Tony! See the Major over there, will you?
Very good, sir.
Tony, my dear fellow, sit down. I've got your affairs settled at last.
Yes?
Hello? Yes, General. I'm listening. It's no good you're going to Czeslau as ordered. That unit will have left before you can get there.
Quite.
So I've got you sent back to your own unit. What do you think of that?
At Kekeswalba?
Yes.
Well, that's fine. That's just what I wanted. What's the next train?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Well, I missed that. What's the next?
4 if it runs. What do you take me for, a railway clerk? Yes, General. I'm listening to every word. I'll be with you on the train myself.
Right. And thank you very much.
This is a bit of a change to be back in uniform. Fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember the time when you were going to resign the regiment? Oh, a desperate fellow. And now you're off to Kekeswalba and you're going to be married.
Married? I have no time for that.
Why?
Well, I would just be able to ring her up and say, well, I love you and goodbye until the war's over.
Oh, Madame Laroche, could you possibly send me something for my broderie anglaise? And I do need a new veil. Grey. Oh, could you possibly send them immediately? Because I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
I had your word. Why should I...
A rose pink one.
I have been called a liar by this young officer. And if I am, it is because you lied to me. Did you or did you not tell me the officer was going to marry your daughter?
Certainly, I did.
He denied it. Denied it before all his fellow officers. Publicly.
Denied?
Yes, I tell you. And when I go to the colonel, he laughs in my face. Lieutenant Merrick has gone, transferred to another unit.
Not so loud.
The question is it true or is it a lie? The last time you be quiet. All you can say is be quiet. I want to know the truth. Why has the officer cleared out? Be quiet. Oh, very well. Too late now.
I can hear you all over the house.
What damage he's done, I don't know. Will you please go?
The pink one. Madame Laroche. Edith, can the servants come in and pack? Why, of course. And Madame Laroche is all right. She's going to deliver everything by tomorrow morning. And now we must get ready for the journey. Yes, I must get ready for my journey. Carla! Francisca! Pepe!
all packed and ready. And there's nothing more to do for the moment. What on earth's this?
Oh, Francesca found that in an old drawer.
That's the first thing I remember loving. Seemed to need me. Poor thing. Went with me always.
A funny little thing.
Yes.
Ilona, come here. Now come closer.
That pledge you've given us to stay with me until I was well. How would you like me to release you from it?
When?
Oh, I don't know. After we've taken the cure in Switzerland.
Oh. Yes.
Now, supposing I said before we went to Switzerland.
Yes.
That makes you happier, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, I've been waiting so long.
I see.
Why are you laughing?
Oh, I'm happy. I want you to be happy. Oh, why don't you ring up your man and make him happy, too?
Shall I? Oh, but I mustn't leave you.
Oh, Joseph will carry me onto the terrace and Francesca will be there and... Oh, don't be silly. Go along.
All right.
Joseph. How easily you carry me, Joseph.
I carried you when you were little, and now I carry you again, and for the last time. And the Baroness comes back from Switzerland, well and happy. She will have no more need of old Joseph.
Now into the wheelchair, Joseph. I may want to get about. That's all right. Don't fuss over me.
But the Baroness won't be an invalid much longer.
Francesca, you've been a very good girl lately, haven't you? Now, of all my things, which would you like for a present?
I don't know, Baroness.
Oh, yes, you do, Francesca. There's something you want very much indeed, isn't there? It's the green and white one with a braid, isn't it? And the bangles that go with it, and the necklace? Well, go along and get it. Tell them I said you were to have it. Thank you, Baroness.
Edith, Mrs. Condor's come to see you. No wonder we were still waiting for Lieutenant Marek. This rumor of mobilization is true, it seems. He was ordered away at a moment's notice.
And he had time to stop and meet friends in Vienna. How very fortunate.
Mrs. Condor's message is personal, so I'll leave you.
Oh, please don't do that. Stay here.
Sit here, Mrs. Condor. It's all very strange for you up here. If you don't know your way about. Yes, we heard there was some excitement. Oh, you must have some of our iced wine, and our grapes are excellent this year. How kind of you to come all this way. Darren, he's gone.
Gone? Oh, then please tell one of your servants.
No one here, Mrs. Condor. We're quite alone.
Alone? Then may I call...
Come. You can't go wandering up here, you know. We're very high up. It might be dangerous.
dangerous. I understood it could be, yes.
Oh, so he told you about that too, did he? Come now. What lie have you come to tell me? That my gallant lover has repented? He loves me very dearly, no doubt. Say it. Say it.
How clever of you. That's exactly what he asked me to say to you.
What's this? The blind deceiving the halt?
At least the blind and the halt should be able to speak the same language.
No. I don't trust you. I don't trust anybody. You've all lied to me, even your husband. Between you, you've worked out this interview to spare me, just as they've concocted that cure to comfort me.
Nevertheless, what you're contemplating is a coward's way out, and you know it.
Do you think I want to go on living like this? Crawling about the face of the earth like a fly without wings, something that should be put out of its misery? No.
If you'd only control that all too impatient heart of yours a little longer. If you'd only have a little courage. Edith. 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 Where are you? Listen. What kind of love is this that won't give and give and give and ask nothing in return? Don't! Edith! Edith, listen. He may need you. He may come back wounded. Desperately wounded. Edith, he may need you. He may need you more than you need him. Edith!
The question of forage for the horses when we get
1 minute, the tunnel. What's the matter?
It's nothing. Someone walking over my grave. Well, where were we? I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. The regiment is moving out of barracks, and I've only a few moments. Will you give this message to the Baroness?
The parade. The order's been given to mount, sir.
Tell me, what has happened? Well, who's that? Oh, it's you, Mrs. Connor, so you got there all right. But then what did Joseph mean?
Oh. I see. What we feared. Terrorists. Yes. Mrs. Conda, I must ask you this. Was it outright?
She lived just a little while.
Lived just a little while.
Long enough to hear that you were coming back to her. That you loved her. That to you the engagement was binding. Sacred.
Sacred. She understood that. Are you sure?
She wanted you to know that wherever she might be, she would reach out gratefully for thoughts that you might have for her. At the last, she spoke your name, smiled, and went on her way.
So you see, Sergeant, there is one kind of pity that can destroy. But there is another that can heal. If you can feel it in your heart to make the effort, believe me, it is worthwhile taking on a hard task if you can help just one other person. Life, say the old Christian religion, is to give, not to take. There's a lot in that. I missed my chance to give. That's all. Don't ever do that.